Hi Gary, how you doing? Thanks for coming on. Hi Mandy, hi Stacey. Oh, how is everyone? Just trying to get this phone working. How you doing, buddy? Oh dear. Let's wait for a few more to come on. This thing should be working. There we go. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Thanks for coming on. I know it's a bit near Christmas for this, really, but I just thought I'd do one before it all kicks off at Christmas. So, hi Angela, how you doing? Hi Karen, hi Dan. Um, hold up, got to get myself sorted. There we go. How are you doing? Well, just a catch up, really. Sort of let everybody know what's going on. I know that I've got to apologise first of all for everybody waiting to get in to see us. Hi Stace, waiting for everybody in to get to see me for their readings. Hi Karen, hope you're right. Just a little apology first of all for not getting all of the email readings done on time. They've been backed up quite a bit recently. Um, I've had an inundation of readings coming on the emails, so I am getting through them, but they are taking their time, I'm afraid. So I will get to everybody as soon as I can. Mandy, yeah, you're right. Xmas, Christmas is tough. It's a tough time of year for everyone. Not just financially, but emotionally for people that who have lost others and lost people close. Quite a heavy week this week, to be honest. It's taken its toll a bit this week. Had a lot of clients. Hi Tina, had a lot of clients this week with some quite sad stories. And I think this time of year really brings it into perspective when they're not about. So yeah, it is tough. Like I say, I am getting through the email readings as quickly as I can, but they are taking time. So just please bear with me. I will get through them. Just a quick sort of catch up about what's going on next year. I'll be closing down for Christmas probably around the 20th for me. I don't know about you guys. So having a bit of a break from it. But probably we'll have to be catching up on the email readings because, like I say, they are backed up at the moment. So I'll get them done as soon as I can. Yeah. So what's coming up next year? Where are we? I think in. Do you know what? I can't even remember. Was it April? I think April is one of the first ones, one of the bigger ones. I think we're down at Kingsmere at some point, Kingsmere Hall, the community hall, the Conqueror Hall. I think we're down there. I don't know if that's February or March. I'll have a read up on these in a second. Oh, Mandy, you coming to see me in the new year? Cool. Yeah, so I think we're down at Kingsmere, Kingsmere Conqueror Hall, or somewhere. I believe it might be February or March. I think I'll have to wait for Russell. I think Russell will probably pop on later on, so he'll be able to validate that for me. So that will be February, March, and then in April, I think it's April the 25th. I think it's April the 25th that we're at the Civic Centre. David from the Civic Centre, really nice guy, got in touch with me this year, and asked whether I'd go back to the Civic Centre. I've been away there for about 3 years, I guess, but he's asked if I'll go back to the Civic Centre this year. So I'm doing that one in April. That one's in Uckfield. Then we've got a big one. Hi Sam, how you doing? Hi Mark. We've got another big one in June. June will be the View Hotel in Eastbourne. I don't know whether any of you guys have come along to the View Hotel before, but it's a fantastic hotel. We get treated really well there, and it's a nice, pleasant evening. So, do you know what? I can't even remember the date of that. I think it might be the end of June, 28th or something like that. And then after that, in the November, is the Royal Hippodrome again. So we'll be going back there in the and that's November. I think it's early November. I think it's about the 3rd or something like that. But all of those details are on my website. My memories are rubbish, so you'd have to check it out on the website, and like I say, all the dates, times, etc. And I think, from what I can gather, I think the tickets are available for those venues now. I don't deal with that, so I know the one at Uckfield will be at the Civic Centre. I think you have to phone the Civic Centre. You can't book tickets through my website. It is through David at the Civic Centre. So give them a call. They'll organise your tickets and send them out to you. The View Hotel, we are organising that. So that will go through the website, tickets for that through the website, and the Royal Hippodrome will be tickets from the Royal Hippodrome. Now, I had a bit of a discussion about this, and we get onto some questions in a bit. Hi Liz, how are you doing? Thank you so much for your email, by the way. I did reply. I hope you received that. I have the dates right. Good, because I wasn't sure. I had a bit of a discussion about these and perhaps it's controversial, but you know me, I'm always controversial. I say it how it is. Hi Layla, you right? Roast lamb for your Sunday. Happy days. Cool. I always have a bit of an issue over ticket prices. Now, the venues that we choose, unfortunately, are expensive, and we have to pay that, of course. So, but what I do is keep the tickets down to minimum, so we obviously have as many people can afford to come to those evenings, you know, to get a good lot of people in. But of course the bills for those evenings are pretty expensive, so I do keep the ticket prices as low as possible. I know other people, certainly when we go into the Hippodrome, ticket prices are quite expensive there, but again, we're keeping that to the minimum for the Hippodrome event as well. I think because they put, you know, obviously as time goes on, they put the prices up, and I can't help that. That's not down to me. But I think the tickets for that evening are £13.50 for the Hippodrome. So it's quite a nice night out for, you know, under 20 quid. Drink and a ticket is under 20 quid. We have a laugh. So hopefully that should be nice for the Hippodrome one. And that's pretty much it in regards to the Dems. I'm sure we've got some smaller Dems on the way. I think we've got one over at, or one, maybe two at one at Hull, maybe. I can't remember, but I think Paul's asked me to do next year. So that's, as far as I'm aware, is booked in, but it will be advertised anyway, I'm sure. And his Facebook page is Walking with Spirit, so you can always log on to there and check it out and see. Oh Mark, yeah, oh man, that was my fault. My memory's rubbish. Finally booked my one-on-one. Happy days. Oh, that's great. I hope it's not too far away, bud. But and that was another thing. We are tending to lose quite a few clients who want to book in. You know, it is what it is. I can't change that. I'm working day and night to get to see everybody. But we are now taking bookings for, from what I can gather, I think towards the end of October, beginning week of November, for private sittings. And I work every day and night, as most of you know, to get through everybody. And I'll be working after this evening as well, just to catch up again on email readings and things like this. Hi, Chris. If any, for people who don't know, by the way, or if you're cutting off onto randomly going on to another story here, there's a gentleman that's on who's watching called Chris Curtis, and I've got a lot of admiration for that guy and a huge thanks too. And I don't mind publicly telling people, Chris, that it was you really right from the beginning when I met and saw you outside Sally Morgan, if you remember. And it was Chris that put it to me and said, and this was before I started to do demonstrations, so we are going back a long time, but he said, this is where you should be doing this. And of course, at the time I was struggling with anxiety and panic, panic syndrome scenario. So, I was struggling to get out, let alone go in front of people like this. But it was Chris that gave me the kick up the arse to do it. And I'm forever thankful for that. And Chris has become a very good friend of mine, and I love him to bits for being who he is. Him and Jade are wonderful people, lovely people, and it was them. It was Chris that gave me the kick up the arse to get on and get out there and do some demonstration work. So again, thank you very much for that, Chris. In actual fact, I haven't told you yet, but where the lady Jo is doing taking some material down for my book that we're attempting to get together, but I'm rubbish at it. So she just keeps pinging me over stuff that she needs to know, and I send it off to her, and then she puts it all into order for me. And she's doing it, and I hope you didn't mind, Chris, but you actually mentioned in that, and I know I shouldn't be putting that out, vocally on sort of a social media platform, but I'm sure you don't mind, because you did play a very big part in pushing me to go out to do demonstrations. So again, very thankful for that. Well, guys, this one's supposed to be a questions and answers this evening. So anyone got anything for me? It's difficult. Like I said, we have spoken about readings online, etc., etc. I said about this last time I think I was on, or the time before, but I'm really reluctant to read online for people like this in a social platform where everybody, hi Graham, where everybody knows, everybody hears. I personally believe that readings are very private and personal to that person, and I think that's where it should be left. And then it's down to that person, I guess, to share that information. But for me, on a personal level, I've always been and always will be very. It will be strictly confidential in the stuff that we do when I sit with people, or when we do readings or whatever. And I think that's the right way. I don't think it's right that we should be reading for. I know a lot of people like that, and I get it, because I watch other people do it on here, and I get it. I just don't think it's, in my opinion, only my opinion, is that I think it should be private and stay private, really. But hi Sharon, any tips for grounding when you struggle to visualize, please? Yeah, damn, I know this feeling all day long. I struggle. I'll get back to you in a minute, Gray. I struggle with meditation. I really struggle to concentrate my mind in a place, but you do get there. The, I don't know, you probably know this anyway, but sage for grounding, burn sage. You can. It's called smudging. Look it up on Google if you're not aware of it. Um, it's called smudging. You get a sage stick and you burn that sage stick, and that cleanses everything, cleanses all the atmosphere, cleanses the air around you, the energy, takes all negative energy out and brings positive energy in. It does actually clear your mind too. I mean, there was years ago that, you know, if ever I needed to be grounded, and even sometimes in an afternoon, if the weather's half sensible, I might just run down, have a coffee or something, or if I'm down on the beach, I'll dip my feet in the sea. Now, for that, that's my grounding, because the sea takes away a lot of negative energy. It cleanses you. So, or just be out in the open, to be honest. But the sea is a wonderful thing for doing that. Obviously, nights like this, days like this, the grounding scenario. What I tend to do, which when I do visualize and go into a meditative place, I tend to imagine that stream, if you like, of incandescent light going through the top, right away through your chakra points, and then grabbing roots in the ground, so you can't fly for the fairies as such. So white sage, yeah, absolutely, white sage will do absolutely that. So this is that's what I do. I visualize like roots coming out my feet and grabbing the earth like a tree roots, you know, and then concentrate on it. All it is, it's not so much visualizing, seeing it as in like you're seeing me, or you're seeing your partner or your kids. It's about imagining where you are. So I could say to you, you could sit here and imagine sitting on the beach next to the pier, and imagine the pier being on your right side or the left side, whatever it may be. But you can imagine that, and you can see that in your mind's eye. That's all that visualization is, really, or a creation of visualization. So you imagine it, but then all of a sudden, as you're imagining being in that place and being at peace as such, your conscious mind of what's going on here has gone. You're actually in a subconscious state or semi-subconscious state. So well, that's how it feels to me. And as I imagine being in a very peaceful place, and I'm like that all of the time, to be honest. I mean, you know, when I sit in front of the TV, I'll sit in front of the television, but I won't know what's on it. And you know, my girlfriend, she always says to me, you know, did you see that? And I'm like, no, I haven't got a clue, because I'm a little bit away with the fairies. It's because that's my way of detaching from the conformity of the world and the programming of the programs that's on TV. So, but that's how it works for me. Sage is brilliant. Dipping your feet in the sea is brilliant. But just imagine being in these places, and then the information should start to come. Gray, just quickly, where did you know you discovered your gift of mediumship? To be honest, Gray, it was only 20 years ago. I was always a loner as a kid, always, never really went to school from the third year onwards, bit bullied at school. That's how it felt. But it was 20 years ago, really, that it all came about. Started to hear and sense and see things that perhaps other people didn't. But again, all of the detail of that and the backstory behind that is actually in the book. So it's quite an interesting journey, to be honest. And I would say probably my as most of you guys know on here, 20 years ago, my dad passed. 6 months after that, mum passed. Then I ended up as a single parent to my kids for 10 years or whatever it was, till they flew the nest. But then illness came on, anxiety, panic, disorientation, dizziness. They thought it was Meniere's disease, but it, you know, like a vertigo type thing, but it wasn't. It actually contributed to stress. And when I did rock bottom with it all, no money, no anything, that's when this opened up, and it scared the shit out of me, to be honest. So I had to seek help with that, thinking that the doctors would put me, you know, on tablets, or many white coats are coming to get me. So, but it is all documented in the book, so it is quite an interesting read. So, you know, if and when it comes out, which was only originally going to be done for the kids, for my kids, so they've got something for them when I've left. But the lady who's writing it, Jo, she said that actually this should go out to a wider audience because it's quite an interesting story, which it is, I guess, when I look back to where I was and what I used to be to now doing this. It's a crazy transition. It's two ends of the spectrum, to be fair. Well, I hope that answers that. When you get message from the other side, what is it like? Do you visualize a room, or are the spirits in our realm? Really good question, actually, James. Now, I believe, and I'm not saying this is the truth because I don't know everything. I just know what I know is the truth. Everybody has a different opinion of this. What a great question. You know, are they in another? Yes, they are in another room as such, but actually, the spirit realm is here. It's right here. It's parallel to us, and we who are sensitives, and everybody is. Let's make this very clear. Yes, it's a wonderful gift, but it's a gift every single person's got. Everybody's got it, and I don't care what anybody says. Oh, you know, and don't get me wrong, and please don't think I'm knocking other people, but you do tend to see people who do this work who tend to blow smoke up their own arse and put themselves up on a very big pedestal as if they are wonderful. Well, it's bullshit. Everybody has got the ability to do this, and everybody can train or all right, some people aren't in that type of mindset, and I get that. Certainly from a skeptical side, you know, an analytical side, and those people, they say it's all a load of old shit, which I get that too. But actually, if they were to try certain exercises, they would be very surprised about what comes out. And I don't actually visualize a room. What I do, because I work with my eyes closed, as soon as I close my eyes and detach from the conscious thoughts and world as such, that's when I have images come across my thoughts like this. And you might get a name, or you might get a number, or you might get a video screen, and you'll be watching like a video screen of patterns of things happening. And all I do is voice what I see. I don't make it up. I don't add bits to it to make a story around it, because as soon as you do that, that's when it goes pear-shaped. So I believe, and it's only work, this is only the way I work. Other people work very differently, of course, and probably a lot bloody better. But the way it works for me personally is that I see it as a name or a feeling or a thought. And if I ask that person who's made their connection with me how they passed, then they give me a pain. They give me a pain of where the problem was, or whether it was a cancer condition, whether it was a hemorrhage, whether it was taking of own life. It's multifaceted, but in time you get to recognize the certain senses and certain feelings that they're trying to impress on you. So as soon as you've got that feeling, you say it. You say, I've got this pain here, which is attributed to your loved one's crossing. And I would say probably 99.9% of the time they're right. Sorry, just bear with me. I'm going to turn my heater up. Getting a bit chilly out here. So that's how it works for me. Sharon, definitely do that. Definitely burn the sage. I hope that answered your question, James. Definitely burn the sage. Do it in your house. Do it in every single room of your house, whether that be the cupboards, the bathroom, the toilet, everywhere. And then once you've done that and you've smoked out the house and it stinks, open the windows and allow the air from the front of the house to go through and blow out the back, or whatever it does. But as long as it goes through the house and dissipates. But you'll be surprised over a couple of hours how much difference that makes to the energy of the house and to you. But don't forget, you've got to do you too. So, you know, put it around you too, because that is where the detachment comes. All of the negative energy will be detached. Open and true. I can't be anything else, mate. To be honest, I'm not built to. I'm not built to do that pink and fluffy stuff. And I know people like that and people want that, but then there's a lot of people who don't too. And I just can't be who I ain't, if you know what I mean. I come from a building trade, but you know what do you expect? And I ain't that eloquent either. I don't know the English language very well, so I just say it as I see it. I'll give it. Yeah, that's exactly right. You do burn the sage, but not enough. What you need it to do, I haven't got any here. I don't think. I haven't got any here. But I'll tell you what. I'll show you. This is my vape, but this is the sort of smoke you need. That's the sort of smoke you need from a sage. That's the sort of amount you need. So you burn it and burn it and burn it, blow it out, and then waft it, and then it will give you a big cloud. So that should work. Any tips on connecting to your guides for the first time? Yes. Right. I hope you're going to bear with me with this because I won't take too long over it. But we do teaching days, as you know, where people come along and learn how to connect with their guides. It's a very good thing here. If you can visualize a place of where you want to go in your thoughts, imagine the place where you feel that is good for you, like if it's in the woods or on the beach or something. Imagine being there. I'm cutting this short, but while you're there, you've got to keep your focus of everything that's out here. Like if you're on the beach, you can see the sky, you can see the boats on the water, you can see perhaps the pier or whatever it may be. But while you do that, imagine that you have a little box or a box and put that box in front of you. I won't describe what that box is like because your imagination will give you the answers to that. Put the box in front of you, and whilst your concentration is in your imagination is out here, put your hands inside that box. I'm not telling you how big the box is, how small it is, what it's made of, whether it's metal, whether it's wood, whether it's patterned. Your imagination will make that up. But all the time you've got your concentration out here, your subconscious concentration is in the box. So you can effectively, where you've got your hands in the box and your concentration's out here, grab something out of that box and pull it out. And once you've pulled it out, there will be something in your hand, and you will know whether you've put it there or whether it's been put there. Because if you've, just been doing the dinner or something, and you pull out a steak, then you know that you've put it there. But if you pull out something completely random, then you know that it's been given to you, and that's been given to you by guides, by the spirit realm that's trying to help you. Now, I know I've cut that a lot shorter than what it is, but it really does help. Again, we do this on our teaching days, and I take you through a journey of finding that peaceful place in your mind, talk you through a journey, sit you down in that journey, put your hands inside that box, and then when you pull it out, we then discuss what you found, what it is, and where it's connected to. You'll be surprised how that works, so give it a try. It's one of those things that I remember learning when I went to the Arthur Finney College and was tutored there. And I'll tell you what, that's the first thing I go back to. If I don't get any information for people before they come to see me, I always go back to the box and put my hands inside of it, pull it out, see what I've got, and say, okay, that's not for me, that's for this person, and then write it down. And as all of you know, I have a book with everybody's readings that I've done. Well, so it mean nothing to me, but I scribble down the information before that person comes, and that's how I get it, just by tuning or detuning from the conscious world and going into the subconscious world or the spirit realm world and stuff. So give that a go. It's worth a try. but it worked for me. And I'm not saying it'll work for you, and you can adapt that journey of yours to how it works for you. My journey was very different to what yours will be. But when you go to that place and you pull those things out of the box, all of a sudden you'll see or feel sensations of people, either in your peripheral vision out here or in the distance. You'll see shadowy figures. And then in time, there, and it may be the first time, maybe the 10th time, maybe the 20th time, but in time, you'll feel a presence come from the back of you. Now, for me, ladies come as a warm sensation, gentlemen come as a cold sensation. So I knew straight away that there was someone standing to my left side when I done it, but I wasn't 100% sure who he was. But now I know it turned out to be one of my guides. But it's the same thing. Imagine yourself being in a place of peace and tranquility and calm, no worries, no stress, and then invite your guides in and say, look, I've come to this space and I wish to meet my guide. And it may not happen the first time, but it certainly will over time. The more you do it, the more you do, the better you get. You know, it's that type of scenario. So give it a go. It's worth a go, but it is always hard. Even if you have trouble with it, go on, YouTube or something, and pick up a guided meditation. Not Americans, do your head in, but English ones are cool. But try it that way, because that will work. But if at any time, which we are doing tutorial days, come along and we'll get to the bottom of it, I'm sure. I hope that helps. So you don't like to do demonstrations of music on social media due to privacy, etc. But your live demonstrations are in front of an audience. Maybe you could reconsider if people would like this. I get that, Donna. I absolutely understand that. Yeah, for sure. I suppose, you're right. I suppose people do, they log on to here as they do in demonstrations on nights out. I guess it's the same principle. You're right. I didn't really think of it like that. I don't know. I'll have a think on that for sure. I certainly will. It's good because it's made me think. So I get it. I'm just not 100% sure. I'm not keen on social media, if I'm honest. The truth is, I'm not really keen on big demonstrations either, because they're scary as shit. They are. So it's the social media thing. I've got a bit of a thing about, but I don't know. I'll have a think on it though, for sure. And I'll put it out to people. And if that's what they, if they don't mind, then perhaps we should try that. But what I would do, if we ever do another one of these, I'll actually put on there that we will try some free readings. And if people are accepting of that, then they can join and we can go with that on that evening. So I think that's a better idea, because then people won't mind if we do it, because it'll always be advertised as that. So yeah, it's a good idea. We'll do that. Thank you for that, for picking that up. Can you switch off your gift? Are they around all the time? James, they're never away. They're not away from me. They're not away from you. They're not away from any of us. All of the loved ones, whether they be, whether they've been gone over 30 years, 40 years, or 40 minutes, it doesn't make any difference. I think there is a bit of I think there's a little bit of some people believe that if you've been over a long time, 20, 30 years, that it's more difficult to get that person through. I'm not really sure I've had that experience, because I think that if your loved ones are coming for a connection, then they will make that effort on the other side of life to do what they can to come and show us that they are still here, regardless of a time element, because time is what we do here. You know, we're governed by the bloody clock in this world, and over the spirit life, there is no time, is there? It's infinite. There is no time. So, you know, it's not. It's for me. It doesn't make any difference whether they've been over 5 minutes or 50 years. It doesn't really matter. For me personally, a lot of people will say that you can't or shouldn't read, or you shouldn't go and seek a reading for 6 months or something like this, you know, prior to your loved ones going. Well, that's rubbish too. Only in my opinion. Only because the first thing, and I suppose that really depends on whether the person in this life was skeptical or didn't believe in it at all. Whether they take a little bit longer or not to come through, I'm not sure. But I think the first thing that people want to do when they leave here is to get back here to say, we've made it, we're okay, we're fine. That's how it is for me. That's how it has been for me. You know, I've read for a, was that a lady or gentleman? I think it was a lady. Yeah, it was a lady. She came to see me a long time ago now, 3 or 4 years ago, and it stuck in my mind that she came in. She was upset before she even got there, and I said, "Well, you know, perhaps we'll do a reading another day, and we won't do it today." And she said, "No, it's absolutely fine." She said, "I've just come from the hospital from a very dear friend who's poorly." I said, "Oh, okay then." So anyway, we managed to get down to the reading. We got it done. Right at the end of the reading, I had a gentleman come through, and I said, "Look, I don't know who this is, but I know he's just come through to let you know he's fine." So I gave the detail that I had of that gentleman, and it so happened that it was the gentleman that she'd just seen at the hospital 2 hours prior. He had passed, but he had come through on her reading. Now, it shocked the shit out of me, if I'm honest. I was surprised at that too, but it was absolute validation. Of course, when we had finished her reading, she picked her phone up and she had the missed call saying that he had passed. So, you know, that was a bit out there, but it is what it is. You know, I wasn't aware of it. Of course, I wasn't. It was because it came in very, very quickly, and I just acknowledged what I was being told straight away. And she said, "This is him." She said, "He's passed while I was being sat here." I'm like, oh damn. So I felt a little bit guilty because she had booked her reading, but I guess she would like to have been with him. But everything is synchronized, so I guess, you know, it was meant to be in that way. I know, sorry, I went off on a bit of a tangent there, James, but no, you don't switch off. And the trouble I've got is I work with my eyes closed, so when I go to bed, they will turn up. So it's crazy trying to get to sleep at night, maybe 2 hours before I get to sleep. So, and generally the people that come forward in the night time when I'm going to bed are usually the people who are waiting for me for their loved ones in the morning, which is a bit odd, isn't it? But I must be going batty, I'll tell you. I think they're going to lock me up. Honestly. Okay, let's have a look. Why do I find sounds and smells overwhelming? Mandy, that's because you would be an empath. And everybody who a lot of people are empaths, but some stronger on a different level than others, different frequency of empath. That would be why, because you're sensing sounds and smells more. It means that you've got a connection there too, and the smells and the sounds are there for you to acknowledge and to pick up. And don't dismiss them. Don't disregard any of that. What you need to do is write everything down. Get a pen and paper, like I do, because my memory is shocking. So I have to write everything down. So, but when you've written it down and your client comes, you say, "Can you relate to this?" And they say, "Oh yeah, that happened yesterday or day before." So you know it's not yours. It will be theirs. That's why it does. Yeah. Does the time it takes a person to come through vary, Paula? Yes, it does. I think Um, Again, it's multifaceted, because you would get people that don't believe in it, and generally they're men, uh, normally, and certainly the older generation would think, well, once you're dead, you're dead. That's it, end of. So I think that it is multifaceted. I think that there's a lot of debate over that. Um, One, like I said, I've had people come through within the hour, and that's how it's been. But you will get some, and you know what? I think it was this week I was reading with somebody, and this lovely lady's dad come through, but and he'd been gone about a year or something like this. But only last week or the week before, she'd lost her father-in-law, but I didn't manage to get him. It was more her dad than him. Now, we don't have a control over this. So, us intermediaries, we don't have control over who comes through. They might say, oh, look who we've got here. We've got this person. But me personally, I didn't pick up this particular gentleman. Her father-in-law had been passed a week. But then she did open up and say, well, actually, he didn't believe in any of it. He thought it was a load of rubbish. So there may be, and I don't know, because none of us know, but maybe there is a little short transition settling in period, maybe. I don't know. And doesn't matter what anybody tells you in this, me included, we don't know. We know that there's somewhere else after here, but none of us know what it is. We know that it's called heaven because it's written in that fairy story they call the Bible. But what is it? What is it? Is it, from what I can gather and what I get told, and a lot of people also call it the same, I've always had it explained to me as though it's called the Summerland. But again, that's only for me to understand. I'm not saying that's the truth, because none of us know. But, I'm sure we all will. We'll all find out. All I know is there is somewhere else after here. That's what I know. I just don't know where it is and what it is. But I know it's right next to us, and it's not like up there, down there, or over there. It's right here. It's a parallel universe. So hence the reason why there are so many of us crazy people now that do this, that can blend with that can step in it and come back out of it again. And it has got, over the years, much more accepting. I'm not so sure. I think accepting, but then you do also have a lot of controversial, a lot of charlatans in it too. And it is what it is. I suppose that's in any work, isn't it? You're going to get that anywhere. That is what it is. All I know is that I try to work my hardest at what I do, and hopefully it makes sort of sense to people. So I found the music helps. Hi Pam, long time no hear. Music does help. Music is a real big trigger. How did I make the progression from learning to platform? Hi Russ. Well, you missed this bit. I was on here earlier and I was talking about a guy that pushed me. We never stop learning in this, and every day is different, and every reading's different, and you can never use the imagery or the symbolic references. Some will act as a reference to more than one person, but a lot of the time a symbolic reference to me for one person will be completely different for a feeling to somebody else. So you never stop learning in it. Of course we don't. We'll never get to the top of that tree. There's too much to learn. I know nothing in comparison to many, many hundreds and thousands of others. I know nothing, but I just know what I know, and it works for me. So making that progression from the learning side of things to the platform, wow, that my first one was at the Hydro Hotel, and Pam's actually on here tonight, Pam Pritchard, and it was her husband Andy that organised an evening at the Hydro Hotel, and that was my first demonstration. This was after Chris kicked my ass to go and do it. And I think Pam will remember that night that there was only like 30 odd people, 35 people, something like that there. And a piece of information came through for a lady. No, it wasn't. It's for the lady's daughter. And the mother wasn't supposed to have been there that evening, but she came along with her daughter anyway. So I was talking to her daughter, giving her the information, and the mother was also saying, yeah, that's correct, that's correct. And then halfway through the reading, the mother said, may I, put her hand up, and she said, can I stop you? And I went, she said, I don't want to steal your thunder. She says, prior to this, prior to her stopping me, I was giving the daughter some information about a watch and an inscription that was on the inside of a pocket watch. And this is when this lady put her hands up or something. She shouted and said, can I stop you there? I don't want to steal your thunder. She said, but when I came out this evening, my husband put this box in my bag that she was unaware of until she got to the venue. And she said, this is what we're talking about. And she opened the box and the pocket watch was in there with the inscription that I'd mentioned. And you can't make that shit up. That was something that it blew me away as well as it did everybody else, because everyone else gasped. And I said, well, that's me. Thank you very much. Good night. I'm off. And that was it. And I was done because it blew me away. But so, and that first step onto platform, as much as the anxiety and the problems with my anxiety about that, it dispelled as soon as you get out there. You allow yourself, you give yourself over to the work of the spirit, I guess. And even now, even when I said that, I can feel them coming in. So it's bizarre. You just give yourself over to them and trust. That's what it's about. It's trusting that they know that when you're ready, you will do it. And when you do it, they won't let you down. It's just trust. And I think that's, again, a reason, Russ, why I keep my eyes closed, as you know. I keep my eyes closed because I think, well, if I can see those people out there and they're, you know, they can sit there all night and shake their head, no, 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 no. That potentially, for me, possibly, I don't know, because I don't work that way, but could put you off. Doesn't me, because I keep my eyes closed. So I don't care whether that person out there is saying, no, 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 no. I know they're right. I know the spirit world are right and that person's wrong. And I know that I will stick to that information and keep that information. We'll never change it because I know they're correct. Say, I'm me pointing up there now, but they're correct. The person the information's going to, maybe not their information. They may have claimed it, but it may not have been theirs. And then the person sitting next to them, it all was supposed to be for them. But you do get that too. You get a lot of people that go on demonstration that will grasp just to get the connection. But that makes it hard for me then. So it's a difficult one. But yeah, from going from the learning to the platform, you know, unfortunately, mate, you have to hold your nose and jump and just do it. And it doesn't matter whether people take the mickey out of you. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. I don't give a shit. If people, you know, slating me, knocking me, well, I can give it back too. So, but I'm not built on that pink and fluffy, so it don't affect me in that way. If people say means nothing to me, that's fine. We'll try again another day. Well, you know, the world ain't blown up, is it? It doesn't matter. At least we've tried, and that's the main thing. Give it a try. If it works, fantastic. If it don't, then you try again until you do make it work. That's how it works for me anyway. Can you sense what sort of age someone will pass, Gary? Interesting. You know, I don't ever seem to get. It's difficult. It's a difficult question, that, because if the person's sitting in front of me and that person's got a terminal condition, then the spirit people tend to mention a timing because they already know they're leaving. So they mention a timing. and it's happened that they've got the dates and the times absolutely on the nail. But in relation to like general people in the street, that's not my business to know, you know. And what would you do? You couldn't say, oh, you're off next week or you're off next year. You've only got this amount of time. It doesn't seem to work like that. I think that the thing is with spirit work, you can only give to the person what you get given. No more, no less, no adding bits, no pink and fluffy bullshit. Say it as you see it. And that inevitably that will always be correct. Don't ever make things up to be something that it isn't. And then, like I say, like you asked, do you see people passing? Don't get me wrong. Sometimes you can be walking through Tesco's doing your shopping or whatever, and you'll think, "Oh, crikey, they're not well," and you sense it, but you can't go and tell them that. You know, you get locked up, won't you? But but yeah, it does happen. Of course, it happens. But it depends how sensitive you are, I guess. You know, some readers do their readings, bugger off home, and don't think about it. But the trouble is with me, I'm at it all of the time, and it's always in here. And you know, perhaps the men in white coats come and get me one day, but it is what it is. Hi Sharon, saw you in August. What as a demonstration was that? The trouble is, Sharon, at the moment, what I was just saying earlier, we are now booking for late October, early November for private sittings. And I'm working every day and night to get through everybody, but it is quite a long way. And I just hope that people do sort of bear with me with it, really. Karen, oh, you're coming in June. Cool. Good to be good to see you. Can't believe I found this live today on my late dad's birthday date, is it? Still listen to your reading all the time. So it's your dad's birthday today. You can't say it's your late dad's birthday because dad's not gone. Dad's right here. Dad's not gone. You know, just because we can't see them in the physical sense, but he'll be there certainly on the other side waiting. But is that correct? Your children? I don't know why I even mentioned that. He's just put 2 children around you, but I don't understand what that was for. I just know that I sensed, you know, his energy very close to yours. I can't validate that, of course, but how lovely is that you know he's come on and this is about today. So happy birthday to Dad. Oh, Paulie, you're coming in Upfield. Cool. I was coming to see you in Upfield on 21st, but due to traces, you never made it. Right. Okay. Where was I then in Upfield on the 21st? I don't even know where I was. Upfield. No, Upfield was cancelled. Upfield was cancelled by Paul. Paul cancelled Upfield, pulled out. 100% sure why. But yeah, Pam. Sorry, Paulie. Yeah, Pam, the watch. You remember it? It was crazy, wasn't it? Crazy night. What does it mean if you have all of the senses of knowing spirit is around you? The bottom line is, Claire, is which we know because I've seen you on numerous occasions. You're also a sensitive. You just got to trust it. You know, it's not. And the job you're in too. The job you're in attracts. So when you're going to see your clients, those spirit energies are coming in, so you end up being the messenger for them. So perhaps you'll dip your toe in the sea sometime and just give some of that information to some of your clients, the ones that are accepting, of course. You're stuck by the message. So it's so refreshing to see me. You've not changed to it, Sharon. That's what I'm about, really, mate. You can't change the information you get. A lot of people do. A lot of people do, and we've often seen it. That some people get a connection and then that person in the audience will say, oh yes, this and this, and then their information wants to go and fit with theirs. It's not happening with my stuff. It doesn't happen like that. I will not. And if someone keeps talking to me, I'll tell them shut up. And you know what I do because I've done it before. And I'll say, look, please don't tell me anymore. That's for me to tell you, not you to tell me. And that really is what this work's about. It's about proving beyond doubt that there is somewhere after here. And it's no good you telling us that story, because that's not how it works. We're here to give the information from them. Done it again. They're not up there, they're here. To give their information to you, not for you to give it to us. Hi Ness, how you doing? Yeah, shopping. Yeah, I know how that is. Would you consider helping fledgling startup or coach them to do platform? Russ, of course. Mate, I don't know all of it. You know as much as me. But of course, certainly wouldn't mind helping. The only problem is it's finding the time to do it. And I think, if I'm honest, the bottom line is now is that we're going to have to start looking at booking for 21, because 20's filled up. We've got no space for next year. So it's going to have to be after that. But there's not even an evening spare because I'm working all the time. But yeah, put it together. If you fancy it, put it together. We could do a day. We could do a day, couldn't we? We could do like a Saturday or something. But get it to Ness. Brilliant night at Wannock. I was at Wannock a couple of weeks ago. I didn't think so. I didn't think that night went well. Cold coffee, damn it. I didn't think that went well. It was an okay evening. People got connections, but I felt the energy of the room was not as strong as that it has been when I've been over there. It's just that evening for some reason. But people got some information, which was lovely, but it just wasn't. It was quite hard for me on a personal level. I don't think people realise, as you do, Nest, and a lot of people who's on here tonight will understand this. They don't realise what we go through before going out on platform. People think, well, we just turn up and we just talk a load of old rubbish and go home. I guess there are some like that, but I'm not. I start preparing probably in the day prior to getting to my event on the evening. And as I've stated, I have in the past suffered a lot with anxiety. So dealing with that anxiety as well, certainly when you're doing big platform work, the little ones aren't so bad because they're your friends and you know, and they know who you are. It's when you're going out in front of big audiences that's scary, and they have no idea, not a clue to the preparation that goes into it, not a clue. And some can just waltz it and walk straight through it and be fine. I can't. I suffer with the anxiety beforehand. So, but it is what it is. Andy says, have you seen a silver spoon? Yeah, right. Karen, have you had spirits of people close to you come to you? Do you know what? My parents are probably the only ones who have gone over 20 years ago. That was. We lost a very, very close friend, neighbour, last year. Tough. That was tough. Tough just for us as a family because, you know, we all knew each other, but million times more tough for mum and dad, of course. Yes, you do, or I have had the sense of that particular person come over, even if it's just fleeting. But I've probably in 20 years probably only seen my mum and dad probably 3 times. But then I don't need to see them. I don't need to know that they're there because I know already. So, but I know they're part of my, I suppose you call it a guide team, I guess. Yeah, that's what it is. Part of my guide team, but there's more. I have quite a lot of guides that work with me. So, but yeah, probably only 2 or 3 times, something like this. It was a bit strange. there was an evening I'd done at the Albany Hotel many years ago, and my family came along. And my family, as is outlined in the book again, my family turned up for this evening, and I was giving information to a lady that was sat in front of my three sisters and my brother-in-law. And what I can remember of it, the lady in the front, I said, "Can you take this information?" She said, "It's not for me, but I'll take it and I know where it goes." And I'm like, okay. So I carried on, gave her the information. And then at half time at the interval, I was just outside. My sister, my eldest sister, came up to me. She said, "You know that lady who sat in front of us?" And I went, "Well, I wasn't sure because, again, worked my eyes closed." But she said, "You know the lady who sat in front of us? You know the information you gave to her?" I went, "Well, I can't remember it, but yeah." She said, "Well, actually, that information was for us girls." And I'm like, "What do you mean, for you girls?" She said, "It was for us girls, for my three sisters that were there and my brother-in-law." And I said, "Well, who was that from then?" And they said it was from mum and dad. And I'm like, "How would I not know that? How would I not know that was from my parents?" And they said, "Well, the information that you got given to give to us was information that only we knew before you was born." So it took us back many years. So it was a bit of a shock, but it's crazy how it works. But I thought I was giving the information to the lady in front of my sisters, but found out that the lady came with my sisters on that night. But I didn't know that till afterwards. But wow, that's rank. But yeah, so it's funny how it works, isn't it? So that's why I find it hard to do. It is toughness. It is tough. It's not an easy thing, is it? I smell a disinfectant type smell, like hospital, every now and then, randomly, that nobody else can smell. Ah, your two children are your angel babies. Those are the ones. So I said he showed me two children. So it's just to acknowledge to you that those children are with him on the other side, of course. And I don't know whether it's you or whether it's him. And I know many people do, and I know it's a stupid, random thing to say, a very general thing to say. But is it you with the dog, or is it her with dad with the dog? I don't know why I'm sensing that feeling. But you're showing me a dog too. Strange as I said, wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do this on here without getting permission from everybody. Just put a ring on your finger like this. So I don't know what that means, whether you're just about to get engaged or whether you're married or whether there's a significance to this ring that goes on your hand. I'm not sure what that's about. Perhaps I've just grasped someone's Christmas present up. Oops. But anyway, I'm sure you'll tell me. Anyway, good. I'm glad. Those are the two children in the other side. That's great. The smell of disinfectant, strangely, can, and I don't know, because my reference to that may be completely different to what it means to you. But when I smell disinfectant, I know that it's connected to like hospitals, as you've stated, or doctors even. So, and it may be just a reference for me to pick up. Oh, I can smell disinfectant. I can smell the hospitals, so I know there's an appointment coming. But if I sense it and I say that, I will then, while I've said, "Oh, I believe there's an appointment coming up at the doctor's or the hospital," but while I've just said that, I'll ask another question, so it goes in a loop. So I'll ask another question straight away, so it runs like a film as such. We're going to the doctors, but I'm sending the question up. What day are we going? That's coming out. What date is it? What month is it? And that's why it rolls like that. So I know whether it's this month, next week, 2 weeks time, the date, etc. So that's how it works for me personally. So yeah, it could be just that, but my reference may be different to yours. So do you think there's time before you can connect with somebody? Laura, yeah, I've just answered this question, Hump. That a couple of months ago he left. And is there any time that you could connect with somebody? Um, do you know, there is no time limit on people coming through. Not, I'm not saying that that isn't the truth. That isn't for me personally. Others may say different, but for me, no. There is no time limit really. Time doesn't exist in the other world, and the first thing they want to do is to come back and tell you that they're okay. I know actually now, just talking about your lovely granddad there, I understand granddad was quite poorly prior to his leaving. It wasn't just a quick in and out. He showed me like quite a deterioration prior to his leaving, but quite short deterioration here. So, but I know he's fine. I know he's well. I can't validate it, of course, but he just showed me just a quick flash of how he was prior to his leaving. Um, and by all accounts, there was how many? 5 or 6. He showed me 5 people that was with him at the time of his leaving, or straight after he had left, straight after, or popped in when he had left. Just acknowledging, knowing that they were there when he left. So perhaps you can get that validated in some way. So he is fine. Vicky, hi Vicky. Just reading your wow. Well, that's good, isn't it? It's good that the reading's accurate, because and validatable, because that's what's important. It's not about, you know as well as I do, and I keep saying this to everybody, that it's nothing to do with me. I just sit here and tell people what I get told, and when people come back and say the reading that I had validated this and validated that, and this happened and that happened, then that's my reward out of it, really. It's like knowing that the spirit people have done their work, and they've done it properly, and they've done, and they've given you some sort of healing from the grief, I guess. Um, and that's the whole idea of this job. It's it's to try to prove beyond doubt that, regardless of whether um, they're not here in the physical sense, they certainly are in the spiritual sense. So, and that's what they try to do, is just gather close and let you know that they're still here looking after us and looking out for us. Yeah, I do tend to write everything down, as you know, before people come, and it's only really because I like to prepare half an hour, 3/4 of an hour before somebody comes, and separate my thoughts from the conscious world as such into their side. So that's how it works for me. It's funny, actually, Sharon, about the energy of cats and dogs and things like this. Um, I don't see it as really. I don't. You can't really distinguish between. I know male, female when they come, as in people, but they actually show me as imagery, whether it's a cat, whether it's a dog, whether it's a bird, whether it's a monkey, or whatever it may be. So they actually show me that, and they say, "Oh, actually, we've got this here with us too, or this animal with us too." So I see that as more of an image than what I do as an energy as such. But people energy is stronger for me. Spirit, animal energy, I see them through um, pictures that they show me through my thoughts. So that's how it works for me, really. Yeah, Russ. He's happy always around me. When am I taking a break and getting some healing? Or do you know what? I'm taking a break on the 20th, I think, but that's when I'm supposed to finish. But I do have email readings to catch up on. So, but I will get a few days out over the Christmas just to recharge. Ah, so it's your parents' dog passed shortly after Dad. Duffy, cool name. Uh, so the dog is, of course, because I said the dog's, feels like it's connected there somewhere, and of course, your dad's got the dog over there too, which is which is great. Um, that's a random. Don't even know why I'm seeing that. I'll get back to you on that. I just saw a very random image come across my thoughts, and I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is, but I'm still. I take it you've got your first name as a surname. I don't know, but was it one of your family that done like the teacup, like tea leaves or something? Because I've just been shown a teacup and a saucer. No idea why, but I know it's connected to you. So I guess I don't know. Perhaps I ought to do an evening of readings because I'm not attuned to that tonight. But I just poppets come through. Yes, Paula, do I write things down before tonight? Well, I didn't tonight. I've got my pen and pad with me. I always have my pen and pad, but I haven't written anything down tonight. Usually I take some notes and think, oh, I'll address that tonight or I'll address this, but I haven't actually done that tonight. So, but what I do tend to do is scribble. Have you seen that guy on the telly? He's an American guy, a really young guy. I can't remember his name. Hollywood Medium or something. He scribbles too. I don't know what he scribbles, but he scribbles too. And I think it's just people say, oh, is it a prop? Not for me, it's not a prop because I write my information down. But for some, it might be. I don't know. I can't remember his bloody name. What's his name? Tyler Henry. He does it too. And there was 5 of you there, Laura. That's right. Because he just went number five like this. I think actually, if I'm honest, I think there was a 6th person. I'm getting told that there was a 6th person, but I don't know whether they got there in time or whether they out getting coffee or on the blower or something like that. I'm pretty sure of that too. He just wrote 6 and went like this. But it is what it is. Have you ever, James, have you ever come across a person that you couldn't do a reading for? I have actually asked this on one of the other ones that we've been doing. If so, what would cause a non-reading? Do you know what? It has happened, and you know what? I can't answer it because some people either can block you, can not that it matters to me really, because I don't get involved in that person's energy. So, but some people will, certainly skeptical people will try to nobble you and say, don't mean anything to me. And then you just have to pull the cord and you just say, well, do you know what? We'll try again another day or we won't bother. It is what it is. It's rare that people don't come through. It's rare. It may be the right person that comes through. It may be another member of your family, but of course we don't orchestrate it. They do. They are the ones who know to send who they want to send or who's strong enough to get through or whatever. So it's down to them really, not down to me. So yeah, I don't know what will cause a non-reading. All I can think of is people being on a negative level, coming to debunk you, possibly. It's rare, but then, and I hold my hands up to this, James, to be fair, mate, that some days, not all days, of course, because it's my full-time job, it's what I do, but some days my energy might be lower and the reception that I receive would be lower through my own energy being low. So I have to probably every end of every week, probably, I have to take an hour or 2 out and just close down. And say close down, I don't mean close down away from this stuff. I mean recharge, because and then realign, because everybody who comes are important, and their reading is important to me. So if I'm not firing on all four, then it's not fair that I will read for that person. And I have, and I hold my hands up. Some days, not some of them have not been through my own doing, but some days I've rearranged an appointment to another evening because my energy's been low. That's just, I think it's kinder to do that than what it is to just have someone turn up and you give them a rubbish reading. That's not what I'm about. So, and it has happened, and I have rearranged some, but not all for that reason, for sure, but maybe a few for that reason, because I know that the next time I see them, it'll be better. So, and I don't do that on a regular basis. It's just every so often. Hi, JD. Bear with me, huh? I understand. I understand, Mum, maybe the other side of life here. I have a sense of a lady that comes forward that is showing me like a mother figure to you. I think it is. It's like a mother figure that seems to come forward here. It's an odd one, because I'm not seeing her as a English tongue. It's like I want to go abroad with her tongue as such. Not sure where that is, but that's where I feel like it. And perhaps it's just down to my misinterpretation. Perhaps it's because I'm not attuned to that scenario at the moment. But I just know that you've taken me abroad. I know with a foreign tongue, so I don't know whether this is she's connected or whether you're connected to a foreign country or a foreign origin, or whether there is a connection for you going to that place. But I know her lovely energy has come through, and I do understand she's putting her arms around your whole family here. So there must be another one or two of you. She's gathering you up like this. No idea why, but I just see it and sense it. So Christmas time must be important also, by all accounts. Christmas time, as in dates and times, birthdays, anniversaries, or passings. So perhaps you can validate that at some point. Maybe it could be they're not ready to receive a message. Sharon, you might be right. It may be just that that person's not accepting of it. And you do get that on demonstration too. A lot of people sit on their hands and won't acknowledge because they either are too shocked by what's come through, or they never believed it in the first place and don't know how to accept that information. So yeah, you could be right. Hi, Sam. I recently came to one of your evenings with my family. It's very interesting. I felt emotional for everyone who had to come through. I also a little jealous. Oh dear, didn't get anything on that night. Unfortunately, you can't get round everybody, which, you know, there's too many people. And again, there's again, controversial. There are people that will go from one person to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, giving pieces of information. But there's no way, in my own knowing, that you can invite people in from the spirit side of life and then bugger off after 2 seconds and then go on to somebody else and pull them in. It just doesn't work like that. Mediumship isn't like that. Mediumship is about blending and taking your time to connect and make that connection strong enough to bring through detailed information. I might be talking a load of rubbish, but that's only how it works for me. So if you had information that comes through about a perpetrator to a spirit's death or similar, yes, Graham, that happens. The problem, and I understand what you're saying there, where you felt you needed to report it to somebody. I can't do that. That I've had people come through that have taken other people's lives. Had people, abusive people, but you know, that particular person that I'm reading for will get the information and perhaps get names. I don't know, maybe get names, maybe get details, but who do you prove that to? I know that you know, in the past I've done work for the MOD, and I know the old bill use crazy people like me to do some work, but they can't ever use our word. Who's going to believe that? You know, oh, some weirdo sat in a chair out of his head and told us this stuff and said it's this person. Who's going to believe that? It's not admissible in court. So it's so hard to do. So you just have to. All I do is pass down the information to the person who's sitting in front of me, and I do know, you know, many people who go through abusive relationships and things like this, and it comes up in their reading. But of course, their reading to me is private, and it stays completely confidential. What they want to do with it after that is down to them. So, you know, that's how it is really. I just want to catch up. So it was your lovely mum. Okay. And is there JD, is there a foreign connection somewhere here too? Because I feel like I'm speaking in a different tone. Maybe something that you can only know, I guess. But what a lovely lady, because I know your mum, from what I can sense here, mum's not come across as an old lady, an older lady. You know, we're not going into the 80s here. She's not coming across like that. I think, bless her heart. And did she have long dark hair down to shoulder length here or something? Because that's the image she's showing me. Again, you know, you have to try to ping it over and validate it, perhaps. Do you hear the true voices of the spirit that is coming through? I suppose you wouldn't know. Yeah, exactly. Do you think it is where their true voice, or is a visual that you see? Laura, it's multifaceted. Sometimes it comes as just a thought. You think, oh, I know what they've just said. That's what they've just said. So it's not really a voice, as in your like clairaudient. It's more of a thought. You say, oh, you know, mum's just said, or dad's just said this. But they don't say it. It's like telepathically given. It's given like a thought. So you're in their energy, their energy field, and you can feel them all around you. And then they impress thoughts into your mind and feelings, physical feelings, and sensations. And then you might see a number fly across your thoughts. But then you might see a video screen as well. And on that video screen, they will say, you know, there's a family playing with, you know, two other children, and then you describe the children and what they're dressed in, and whether it's a photograph or whether it's a video. So it's different. It's a different thing, really. A voice of the spirit. I don't hear it audially. That's me. A lot of people do. I don't hear it audially. I sense it as though it's something they're getting across to me. Maybe an address, maybe a date of importance or something like this. But I just say it as they show me it, as in visually show me it. So, but the sensations and the feelings then take you off on a bit of a tangent too. Because, you know, for example, you'll see somebody and you say, oh, you know, perhaps mum went over with breast cancer or something like this. She had this condition, but in life she was bubbly and lovely and jovial, and it doesn't match her condition, even though her condition was hideous and horrible and it took her, but actually in life she was a very different person. So, you know, it is multifaceted, and it's really difficult sometimes to, because when someone comes across really bubbly and lovely and alive, because that's what they are in the other life, of course, they're alive, they're not, they've passed from the physical sense, but in the spiritual life, they come buzzing. But of course, when they come in and they're coming all buzzing and you know, I'm here now, you know, I need to say this and they say that. But then they tell you about their conditions of illness and you think, damn, that really wasn't you. You know, in life you was like this and your condition of illness left you like this, which I suppose it does. But it's a tough one. It's multifaceted, like I say. So you just have to go with what you get, I guess. Mum was English but spoke fluent Greek. Ah, that's what it was. I couldn't understand what the language was. Damn it, I couldn't understand it. So she spoke fluent Greek. Wonderful. Ah, that's good. That's great. Well, thank you very much, and hope you have a lovely Christmas too. Thanks, JD. Maybe see you again at some point. Um, okay. Good. Good. Hi, Dan. Hi, Christina. Just reading bits on the phones. Bear with me. Funny that, Alison. We had this the other day. This is weird. Can someone choose when they go over to the other side and may wait until they think we are ready to let them go? Do you know what? That happens. You know, a lot of people, I'm not saying all, but a lot of people who know that they're in themselves, they know they're leaving. Their loved ones don't know they're leaving, but they will hang on at a hospital or in bed or hospice or whatever that scenario may be, just until they've seen who they need to see. And once they've seen them and made peace in here, it's like, now it's time to leave. So yeah, I do believe that in a lot of cases. But of course, there's again, that's multifaceted because people go over very differently, of course. Certainly people who you know, accidents or quick crossings, they don't have much of a choice, of course. But on the other hand, that might be true too, because you know there has been people that have been either knocked over or whatever the scenario may be, accident, car accident. They've waited until their loved ones have got to the hospital before they pass. So where effectively they should have been taken or should have died in that accident, but they haven't. So yeah, perhaps there is a little element of that too. Perhaps there's an element of that too. Um, yeah, it's like going to a priest. You'll see, is that, Jesus, that's one thing I hate. Like going to a priest, your secrets are safe with us unless it's public demo. But when you do a public demo, you've already given the information out to people that that's what it is, so they know what to expect. Um, Whereas I haven't done that on here, and I don't know whether people do want their information put all over the social media. So if we ever do another one, I'll do I'll do one where we do readings for people or little snippets if we can. Um, but you have to bear with me in that because I go off on a tangent, and if I get a connection with somebody, I'll sit there and talk to them for 10 minutes. So it's what it is. Her first husband was Greek, long, darkish grey hair, and she was only 64 when she passed. Yeah, she didn't feel an old lady. And in actual fact, even though, 64 is no age anyway, but she was proper, love life. That's what I know. Long, darkish grey hair, yeah. She was only 64 when she passed. Damn, that's no age. That's scary, isn't it? I'll tell you what, there is one thing that this job does do. Um, you do question your own mortality, because you see so many people from so many ages, different ages going over. You often think, Jesus, that could be me, more. You just don't know, do you? None of us really do. But I'm glad, JD, that that's made some sense to you. Um, it would suggest in my thoughts that, and I guess I must have seen you. I guess I must have seen you because your mum's connection is it feels a lot easier. And after the first time connection, the second, third, fourth, fifth, and onwards, their connections, it's just like riding a bike. Once they've done it once, they can do it again and again and again, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's what I feel with mum's energy. But there's something else here. I wonder whether I I don't want to go too deep into this because I'm not into this tonight. I don't want to be doing this tonight, but it feels like mum wants to make a connection to another member of your family, close brother, sister, something like this. That's what I think, but we'll see. Not just them, but you too. Does the full moon amplify your connection, Sharon? You know what? I don't think it does. I don't think it. Who knows? Perhaps it does. But I know I go batty around a full moon. It just get headaches and all sorts. But I guess that is what it is because it's the magnetism of the moon. So I'm not sure. Strange thing was, I'd done an evening out at the Five Bows out at Chailey. Never again. And that was on a Halloween night, and that was a full moon night too. Wouldn't do it again ever. That went proper pear shaped that night. So I don't know whether it does or whether it doesn't. To me, I don't get into that side of things. That's more of an astrological side, I guess. But I suppose it all works on the same premise. But I just concentrate on one thing because I'm a bloke. You can't multitask, so I only concentrate on one thing, and that's my mediumship. Whether that person's here, whether they, whether I sit and talk. So I don't know on that one. Perhaps it does for some, but I'm not sure for me. See, Donna, when I heard spirit, it seemed like the message thought was coming from the back of my head. Exactly that. Exactly that. It comes from the back of your thoughts. It doesn't come from your own thought patterns that, I know I've got to go and do this tomorrow and that tomorrow and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't come like that. It comes from back here. It's like it's in the back of your head and comes forward to the front. It's exactly how it works. So yeah, you are. You're absolutely right. When you see the video photo imagery, is it in black and white or colour? Both. Generally, the photographs they show me of obviously senior people, because black and white photos were black and white photos in them days. They show me the black and white photo. A lot of the time, the ones they show me are generally like wedding photographs or maybe military. If that older generation has done service time, they'll show me a black and white photograph of either the lady being in a RAF or the gentleman being in the RAF, or army or navy. So, but I'll know by the photograph really. If there's a picture that they want me to recognise from the 70s, then it comes across to me like it's in sepia. So you see it in a sepia colour. So I know how to age date it in my thoughts. But yeah, that's how it works for me. Everyone can do this. It's really lovely that people say some really nice things about their readings that they have, but without you guys, those readings wouldn't exist. I can't read for people who don't come. So it's you guys that bring your energy, and this is what I've always said when people have readings done. Hi, Vanessa. I've always said this when people have readings done, is that a lot of it depends on how you come to your reading. And we sort of spoke about this earlier on, that depending on how you approach your reading will depend on how your reading is. If you sit there and with a miserable old face on all day, your reading's not going to be of high energy because you're not open enough to accept it. So not that it really matters to me, because I don't care whether people come with higher or lower energy, because I don't listen to them anyway. I'm too busy doing what I do. But it does make a difference, I think. It does make a difference. That's all right, James. Have you ever encountered a spirit that wasn't aware that they had passed? Yeah, I've just mentioned it. We've done one over at five. I think it's Five Bows at Chailey. And when I came away, I had an attachment. A gentleman. I know this is going to sound crackers, but that evening came away and I was really poorly, really ill. And even when I came home, for about 2 weeks, I was snappy. And I'm not really like that. I'm quite laid back, quite chilled, but I was quite snappy and disorientated. My readings I felt were rubbish. and this we're going back a good few years, but this particular gentleman attached himself to me. And I think I explained it last time I was on here. When I saw this gentleman in my thought, I knew then straight away, well, it took me about a week, 2 weeks to find out that I had got an attachment. And as soon as I went into my thought process, into my subconscious as such, I call it that, but it isn't that. But when I went into that, I could see him, I could sense this guy, he had attached himself. So what I'd done was I opened the door to allow him to leave. And that's exactly what happened. And I saw this guy be greeted by a huge door opening with light that is just undescribable. And I could see, like, you know, like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where they come out of the light. That's exactly what this felt like. And I saw one step forward, his arm out, and this guy put his arm out, and they took him. And then the doors closed. And after that, it was all lifted. I know that sounds proper crackers, but that's how it worked for me. And then after that, it gone. All of that heaviness had lifted. So you do get some that do stay behind, I think, but some that don't want to go, some that want to stay close. Who knows? But like I say, I only know my truth. I don't know everything, and I certainly wouldn't profess to. But hi, Delaney. To be honest, I was mentioning this earlier again. It only really started for me about 20 years ago, and I know 20 years is a long time, really, but it just seems to have flown. Every day is different, and every day you're learning. So the more you put in is the more you get out, pretty much. The more you work with it, the more concentration you have with it, the better, the stronger the connection. So yeah, it's taken a long time, but you know, and you never stop learning, because one day you'll sit with somebody and it'll be a bit of a pants reading because you haven't connected properly. But that's down to me. That's not down to them. I think that's more down to me. So I have to address that. It is all about how much time you put into it. You know, a lot of people, when they come for their tutorial days, and we have a really good day, they'll go away and would have picked something up in the room on that day and mentioned it to one of the other people, the attendees, and it's been correct information that they couldn't possibly have known. Then they'll go away and perhaps won't ever do it again, and that's fine too. Turning that down now, because probably not. So I think a lot of it, I've not had it all of my life. I've had it. I think we've all had it all of our life, but I only attuned to it about 20 years ago. So, but again, like I said before, I thought I was going nuts, and it is being outlined in the book that lady that is writing it. She must be I must be doing her head in sending all this stuff over to her. But hopefully that will be out next year with a bit of luck. My mum waited until my nephew flew back to the UK before she passed over. Yeah, and that sort of, it makes sense. I think they do. In some cases, for sure. When a young person passes, do they get a chance to have a life once they pass? Well, life is a continuation, Gary, isn't it? Life doesn't stop. There is no end. That, you know, everyone, we've been taught from very young ages that we die. Can't die. You can't die. There is no death. Death doesn't exist. Death it's an ending, but it's also a new beginning. So you cannot die. Your spirit is eternal. It lives forever. So, you know, yes, you do live on after here. And I often get asked the question, do children grow up if you leave quite early, or if you leave at, you know, whether that be 5, 10, 20 or 30 years old, do you stay at the same age, or do you progress and move on in your years? Well, of course, there's no age, is there, in the other life either? So, age doesn't, it's not relative, the same as time isn't relative. It, it's energy, and energy is eternal. It can't, it's not a shapeshifter, as far as I'm aware. But like I say, I don't think any of us really know. I just know that if I get a younger person come through, they give me the information to say, well, I passed at this age, but I'm actually in the earth life, I would be this age now. But over there is no age. So, you know, that I think dispels that theory. But I'm not saying that's the truth. I don't know. Like none of us do. Hey, Paula, let me have a think on that, hon. Let me have a think. Where are we? Paula. Okay, stick it in my head. Interest. So they can show you tangible things. Yeah, they can do that too. Yeah, like I say, I don't think it's. I think there's many messages that spirit people send us. You know, people often associate associate the little tiny red robins and the feathers and things like this. And I truly believe that that's what they do. You know, and that is something that's tangible. I do think that, and I do think that they can alter electricity and bend electricity so the lights flicker, the things, you know, computers shut down, telly turn on. I believe that that can be done too. So yeah, I think it is absolutely possible. Hi Adam, I've seen you before. Okay. Also, I've seen you for reading. Cool. That's good. Um, like I say, tonight I wasn't really going to do any readings online tonight, but because I haven't put it out there to people that we're doing that, and the reason really is because I don't tend to do like Facebook or social media readings, because I think readings should be private. But I think what we do is on the next one we do, if we do another one, if people ain't got fed up with it, we might do another one, and we might just do an evening of picking up readings so I can attune to it. It's just that I haven't attuned this evening for it, even though some bits and pieces have been coming through. So bear with me. Something may come up. Something may come up. Russ, this shirt, yeah, look, what is it? There it is. My shirt, my emblem I've done. I don't know if you can see it. Had my emblem embroidered on a couple of t-shirts. It's only really for me. It's not for other people because I'm not that vain. So I just wanted to see what they would look like. So, but yes, it's the fan club. Yeah, righto. You can wash a car with it. Kirsty, did you come to a dem then? So hoping that you got a message. The trouble is when you obviously when you go to evenings like this, you can't guarantee who you're going to get. That's the real problem, and you don't have enough time to get through everybody. And generally, most of the time, you know, like Paul's. I don't know how many was at Paul's. There must have been 70, I guess, was there? I don't know. But then when you do like Croxted Farm, that was 120. You ain't going to get around 120 people. It's just not possible, is it? So I'd love to get a message. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I think that's what I'll do. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Like I was saying to people, I'm very lucky to be busy, but it is extremely busy at the moment. We're booking for late October, early November for private sittings at the moment. You know, we have got a cancellation list, but generally people don't cancel because if they think they're going to lose it, they have to wait another 8 months. So it's quite tough to get everybody done. Like after this evening, I'm working after tonight. I've got an email reading to do, which I need to get done by tomorrow. So So, you know, I'm working day and night trying to get through everybody, but you can only do so much. Vanessa, okay, yeah, Ness, yeah, why not? Um, uh, Vanessa here, Vanessa Tones. Can I mention that we have started a circle if anyone is interested in improving or starting from the beginning with their gift? Now, Vanessa, lovely, lovely lady. So if there are people on here who want to explore it a little bit more, then drop Vanessa a message either on here or contact her a private message, because she's starting up a circle. So circle of people that want to learn from the beginning and start from the bottom and work their way up. That sounded really obnoxious and classist, and I don't mean that at all. There is no status in this. Everybody has got something to give to somebody else. So this is not about being better than anyone else, because nobody is. No one's better than me. No one's better than you. And don't let anybody else tell you that either. We all bring something to the table. You know, I might be okay at one thing, but rubbish at another, where that other person would be brilliant at that, but rubbish at theirs. So everyone's got something to give. Don't ever put yourself down on that. Do you ever feel you get better readings if you're actually sitting with the person who wants a message, or can it be as strong through email or social media? To be honest, it's interesting that, Laura, because I have a real issue with social media anyway. I'm rubbish at doing this sort of thing, as you can tell. I'm not keen on social media. I don't go on here much. I go on here to advertise, and I go on here to do these bits and pieces. But other than that, I try and stay off of it because there's too much negativity for me. I can't be doing with the drama. So to do it via social media is not good for me personally. Certainly, if I haven't told everybody that's what I'm doing, that you know, I like to be forward with people and say, well, this is what we're doing tonight, or this is what we're going to do next month. If you fancy it, pop along. At least they've been given the heads up. Through email, it is different. Don't get me wrong, it is different. But then there are a lot of my email clients aren't here. They're either abroad, or most of them are abroad, or up country, or whatever. So they can't get time to get here. So that's why they have an email reading. And sometimes people, often on their readings, they give me a subject matter and they say, well, I need some clarity on this, or you know, clarity about people on the other side. Don't tell me who's there, but it's really down to them what they want me to do for them, really. And like I say, sometimes it's easier to connect in with somebody remotely, whether they're the other side of the world or whether they're next to you. Doesn't really make much of a difference to me because I keep my eyes closed regardless. So, but who knows? Who knows? Uh, yeah, do you know what? I remember Adrian Brown Russell. I remember him. I don't know whether he still does it or not. Does he? I'm not sure. But yeah, I remember Adrian from the Deerfold Centre. I believe it was. I think it was. Hi, Susie. Um, yeah, so really, I've talked a lot of old rubbish, and I really tonight. I hope some of it sort of made some sense to you guys. Um, Not a lot really more to say, but see now, just quickly, I've just clocked it. There's a gentleman that I won't give any details, come to see me, and this is a guy you need to be looking out for in the future. And I will put his name out here, and he's going to be quite embarrassed over this. But gentleman who's on and watching tonight, Daniel Jenner. This guy is very good at what he does, but he doesn't know it yet. But he is, and watch out for that name because he'll be out there soon, I'm sure. Lovely guy, absolutely lovely guy. Just keep your eye out for that name because you know, I'm sure he'll be chasing my ass too, because he's got an ability there, and he's a very, very big empath. But he will tell you what he thinks. You know, he's very, very black and white like that, but very good at what he does too. You just don't know it yet. It's just about practice. So, and he knows that too. So, yeah. No, I thought I'd drop you in that one, Dan. I still have those tarot cards you gave me. Do you know anyone that teaches tarot? Blimey, do you? Damn, that's going back, isn't it? Wow. Do you know what? Tarot, a lot about tarot reading, when I started tarot reading, what those cards do for you, or it's very difficult to teach tarot, I think, because tarot is all about what you sense from it and not what others sense from it. All you need to do is put them out in their formation and connect with each card. That's how I learned. I connected with each card. I know it took me an age, because I used to go to sleep with one card. There's 78 in a deck, and I used to go with one card underneath my pillow every night. Was a different card, and I don't. You know, a lot of the time I wouldn't have remembered them, but when it's under my pillow, it's going through my thoughts. So, and I used to imagine what that card felt like, and that helped me over time. But damn, that took a long time. But I didn't have anyone to go to learn it. So I don't know whether there's anyone on here. I don't know whether there's anyone on here that can help on the tarot side of things. Because when I put my cards out now, which I don't know where they are, to be honest, but because I haven't used them for so many years, but I know the last time I put them out there, I couldn't read them. They didn't mean anything to me. So I think, as with every other instrument of spirit work, they are tools to open you up and your own intuition. They are tools for that. So it may be that you need to just get them out and concentrate on what one particular card means against another. It takes a long time with tarot, because you've got so many permutations of 78 cards. One card against the other 78 will be different to everything else. So it's a real tough one there. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for coming on tonight. Thanks, James. And hi, Carly. Thank you, Paula. So Delaney knows Dan. Got it. Right. Yeah. So Dan, you'll be, you've got to get your finger out. Start doing. Yeah. That's it. We'll keep eyes peeled for Daniel for sure. Lovely guy. Lovely guy. I tell you what, and I think I've told him this in the past. I often think of him looking like Legolas out of Lord of the Rings, the one with the blonde hair down here. He's got better hair than most women I know, actually. There we are. Thanks, Gary. Thank you ever so much for coming on. yeah, Delaney. Yeah. Thanks, Laura. Well, I suppose it's nearly that time to go. I know, so Rob Davis may be able to help. Give him a message. What's that for, mate? Is that for cards? Oh, look, and Andy still has his cards. You go, wow, crikey. Yeah. Sharon, you don't need to ask that question. You don't need to ask that question, because you will know. That's not for anybody else to tell you. You will be what they want you to be. And if that is the path that you feel like you're going on, then that's the path that you should be on. And it's not whether somebody else can tell you you're going to be that, because you will know it. And as soon as you start, let's put it this way, as soon as you start to give a piece of information for somebody else, then you are then the intermediary. So you don't need to have others tell you who you are, what you do, and how you do it. What you are is what you are in here. And regardless of, and people will knock you, people will try bring you down, to try knock you off your perch. Who gives a shit? It's nothing to do with them. You be who you are and trust in what you do. The only people you need to trust is the people that work with you. That's all that matters. Everybody else in the physical life, I know that sounds really harsh, but everybody else in the physical life, they'll have their opinion. You don't have to listen to it. It's not down to them. It's down to you. So this is you won't be told, but you'll know in here. As soon as you start giving people information that you don't know, that only they can know, then that makes you, as such, an intermediary, a sensitive, a medium, something like, call it what you want, but you will be an intermediary between this life and that. And people don't need to tell you. Guides won't tell you that. They'll just work with you and you'll know it. And that's what's important. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Thank you. My hair is my crown and glory. Yeah, I tell you, mate. Well, Mrs., you get proper jealous of your hair. It's just I've been blocked since February. Do you know what though, Sharon? It may be there's a reason behind that. That doesn't mean to say you've blocked it. It could be something that what tends to happen, and it still happens to me now, is that you will learn to a degree, and then you stop. And it happens to me too. It still does to this day. You'll get to a plateau. And you think, why can't I get any more information? Why have I stopped? Why am I not getting anything? It's because you haven't learnt the bits before. So you have to go right back to the beginning and start over again. And then it takes you up to the next level. So this is not, it's about understanding it. Been blocked since February. There could be numerous amount of things. It could be your life itself, other things going on, busyness. It is what it is. But it could also mean that you've got to a plateau and you need to either go back to the beginning and start over again and then rebuild again, or it may mean that you've got to perhaps go off on a tangent and learn in a different way, or have somebody else teach you to look at things in a different way. That way, and I'm not saying you have to learn from others, but we do. You don't have to learn their way. They may just give you the kick up the arse that you need to go to the next level of learning. But trust me, you're not the only one. Everybody who does this gets blocked every so often, and you have to work your way through it one way or the other. I go right back to the beginning. I go right back to where I first started and then start again. Even now, and I've been doing this 20 odd years, and I still go back to the beginning, the roots of where it all started. As soon as you go back to the roots, you understand it again. It starts fulfilling you again, and you think, I know what that is now. I know where that block is. So it is about stepping back and then hitting it again. You know when it's genuine. And I think, you know what, I don't know on what context that is, but I do get the impression that, you know people who you go to, whether they're genuine or whether they ain't. You know, I've had it myself. I've had people say, oh, he's a nutter, you go and see that idiot. Makes no difference to me. I don't give a shit what anyone says. It makes no difference to me. I don't take it on board. So, but everyone's entitled to an opinion, isn't it? That's how it is. Oh yeah. Yeah, when we validate, of course. That's right. And the whole idea in this work is validation. Nothing more, nothing less. It's all about validation. If you're a medium, an intermediary, then all your work is, or all our work is to bring through information from loved ones that have passed that is detailed information, not generalized crap like mum's here, she says she loves you, blah blah blah. Well, that's true anyway. You can't validate that, but you can validate with times, dates, names, places, people, events that have recently happened in that person's life or whatever. So, you know, that's mediumship is about bringing through detailed, validatable information, not generalized pit pat rubbish. I'm not saying, you know, it's not always been the same like that, but that's how sometimes how it has worked for quite a lot of others. Paula, well, that's what I'm saying, you know, which is lovely for you to validate. And it is information that I couldn't possibly have known. And it's not about me. It's about, this is what I try to get across. It's about you. You're the guys that come, and without your energy, I can't make this work because I can't sit here talking to myself like I am now. It's like without you, I can't work. So you're actually the ones who bring the energy, not me. It's nothing to do with me. I'll just tell you what I get told. So, but that's how it works. Hi, Ali. Yeah, it's always difficult when you're doing readings online, as I've said before. Have I seen you before? I don't know. I don't know because we only get first names, as you know. So I see so many people. I just just out of interest, just really briefly. Um, we must be somewhere near, just gone, I think, Alison. We just must be near either, or just had a birth date or an anniversary date in your family recently. In fact, it feels quite close. Whether this is the last couple of days or so, because I can feel like I'm getting cards waved at me here. So these cards usually mean to me it's a birthday or an anniversary date that's close to either this, I think it's this date, close to this, but I think it's just gone, maybe just coming up, but I'm not sure. But that's the impression I'm getting from the energy that I'm being passed on to here. So perhaps that you might be able to validate that too. Um, I know this is a general statement too, but I don't know whether you can place this. Don't look much like one, but I don't know if you can see that. What does that mean to you? What does that picture mean to you? I'll show you again. I think it's a rose, but I just saw it in my vision, so I just copied it. Do you know what? It feels like it's on you. So I don't know whether this is like a tat or something similar, but I know that rose is significant, as it would be to a lot of people, I know. But this is what I'm being shown. What does that mean? And that will be for you, Alison. So it is significant in some way. I just had to scribble it down. I'll leave that with you for a second. But it's definitely something. And it feels, you know what? It feels like I've got it. I've got it on my skin. So I don't know whether this is like a tattoo or something. Um, but I'm also get the impression, maybe I also get the impression that they're. I don't know whether it's down my leg or what, but it feels like I've got tattooed down my leg. I have a flower tattoos with both my mum and dad. That's what it is. Okay, that's fine. I wondered what it was. I saw the tattoo, but I wasn't 100% sure what it was. Have you also got one down your leg or your thigh or something like this? Because it feels like I want to go to this part of me too. So there's something about also, I don't know whether you've got what that is. My daughter's just had a magpie tattoo for my mum. Ah, right, okay, cool. There's another little picture. That, strangely, is a butterfly. So I don't know why that butterfly has come to my thoughts too, but it does feel like it's connected to the same. So this would be their acknowledgement of knowing that they've had these done. So the daughter's just had the magpie tattoo for mum. Okay, good. That's it. And Alison, I know I should be gone by now, to be honest, but hi Rachel. No, not really. It's just that I've just picked up something from somebody else. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another evening just for readings for people. So so the rose was a remembrance rose. Okay. And who's got the issue in this part here? Solar plexus. This feels like it could be pancreas. It's top of, it's sort of like in the center of my rib cage. It feels like it's pancreatic or pancreas area there. It's quite painful, but I know it is associated to one of your lovely ones, Alison. Stopping me breathing. It's like a stitch in a sense. Wow. So so your niece sustained the fractured ribs. Damn, she just passed, hon. I just get this pain across the top of my rib cage. So it must be around this part. Must be around this part because that's where it's hurting. My sister-in-law just died of pancreatic cancer. Wow. Jesus, damn. Sorry to hear that, Pam. Damn. Yeah. I know that, my goodness, that's horrendous. Yeah. Fractured ribs as she passed. Damn. My goodness. That's horrible. I feel for you. I do. I really do. And it's so sad. But just know that, of course, you know, if I'm picking up these symptoms, then these symptoms will be connected to the people that are connected to you because they just want you to know that they're okay, you know. So I just had my pen out again. Of course, you know, pain only exists in this world. Physical pain only exists in this world. Spiritual pain is different. You know, when we leave, I guess from here, from what I can gather of it, what I understand of it, is that the pain that they feel is more an emotional pain of missing us in that sense. They don't miss us in the same way we miss them, I don't think. I think because they are returning home to where we come from and we will all go back to. So it's like, damn, that was a tough ride, but now we're home and we'll wait for our loved ones to meet us when it's their turn. So physical pain, of course, that's left here. Emotional pain is more about missing us in the physical sense. But I don't think it takes a huge amount of time to get past that in the other life. I don't think it does. I think it goes, that tends to leave quite quickly, because they understand more than what we do, and that when we leave here, we will meet again anyway. So you know, it's a very different thing, but certainly pain in this life, and of course, out of pain now, as in a physical sense, that you don't carry your pain over on the other life at all, and you know, it is as hard as that is for us. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're all together. Of course, the other world, when they come close, they all come together. There seems to be like, is your mum got a brother or dad got a brother in the other life too, like an uncle? So it feels like I've got an uncle's energy come forward too, either connected to mum or to dad or something like this, or someone who's like an uncle to you for sure, or maybe even been called uncle for strange reasons. But I just know that there's another gentleman on the other side of life too. They are together. I can't validate it, but I know they are. There's no doubt of that. I'm not sure, hun, but are you off to, or have you been to? It's going to sound crazy. They're just showing me Magaluf. Why is that? You off there, or you just come back, or are you going, or what? I don't know. As in Magaluf, Spain. Don't know what that's about. I'll just wait for that, and then we'll see. Yeah, it's always difficult to validate people being together. But of course, when you do one-on-one readings, you get all of that detail come through on those readings. So um, that they're with this person or that person, or they bought the dog. Oh, she went to Spain this summer. Oh, okay, cool. All right. So yeah, so it's basically it's just more of a it's more of their way of just saying that they're okay, you know, that they are together, and this is what I'm saying. That you only get the information that is validatable, stuff that's recently happened, that's happened, or where how they passed and things like this. So that's just their way. It's not all about the pink and fluffy stuff. It's about validating that if I can sense it, then there must be another place after here, because it's them that's giving me those feelings. And you know, a lot of people like Darren Brown, bless his heart, love him, but he will say you can read or cold read somebody. Well, damn, getting that type of information by cold read, I'm not so sure. See, I analyse that, but who knows? Russell, okay, Russ, I will do. Pencil me in for a catch up. We'll do, buddy. And have a think about like a fledgling thing. That'd be good. That'd be good. I'd enjoy that. So have a think on that too. Well, people, I'm afraid I've got to go because I've got to go back to work. Hi, Shireen. Um, I've got to go back to work. So on to an email reading now, which should have been done ages ago, but just finding the time, isn't it? So I'll say good night to everybody and thank you ever so much for joining me. And if we do another evening, please join me again. And you know, perhaps next time around we do a few readings online and see how that goes. So thanks again. Thanks for listening in. All I can say is I look forward to seeing you guys next year. The Gems, one at Uckfield Civic Centre in whenever that is. I can't remember, April. One at the View Hotel in June, and then the big one in the Hippodrome at Eastbourne. So be great to see you all there. Thanks ever so much, and happy Christmas. Take care. Don't drink and drive. Don't drug and drive. Don't do anything you shouldn't. And I'll catch up with you guys next year, hopefully. All the very best, and like I say, happy Christmas. Hope everything goes okay for you guys over the Christmas period. Don't get fat like me. See you again soon. Bye bye.